All right, welcome everyone. My name is Kelly Vincent. This is Tina Mouse, and welcome to the Extreme Sunday Night Training. And tonight it is going to be extreme. I'm just going to set up this training from the get-go because we're going to talk about some issues and some things tonight that may hit home. If the shoe fits, wear it. Some people could get offended even. That's not the intended outcome of the conversation tonight. The intended outcome is that you walk away knowing that we're giving you exactly the facts and what needs to happen and methods of operation so that you can be successful. All right. If I said, would you rather me bullshit you all for the next hour and tell you all the stuff that's not going to make a difference, I don't think anybody's going to raise their hand. Usually people want to know what they could count on, what they know. They want to know exactly what to do or how things work. And that's what we want to deliver. That's what we're committed to, so that you walk away with information that you can utilize and work on, or just be in an inquiry about, so that you could better yourself with your business, with your team, with your results. So we're going to get right into speed. In terms of why it's so important to go fast as you can.
So I'm going to start with one of the things that we do. When we start, the very first thing we do is we look at the ranks, we look at the highest rank, and we say, what do we need to do to be here? And then we work our way backwards like this, and we say, where do we think we can be in the first 30 days? So we start at the top, highest position in the entire company. And then we work backwards and we go, this one. I think we can shoot for this one in our first 30 days. But why is it so crucial? Why is it so important for us to hit the highest rank we can possibly hit in our first 30 and 60 days? There's several reasons. And that's what we want to talk to you guys about tonight. And the first reason is the people with the highest rank get the most say-so. I don't think that should surprise any of you. The people that complain before they've ever been sponsored their first person get very little done through the company. But when you sponsor 20 people in your first 30 days and you move up a few ranks, now the company's listening to you. And they clearly hear what you're saying because you're not just talking the talk, but you're walking the walk. It never fails to surprise me. People come in the business, they're in it for 60, 90 days. They sponsor 2 people, and then they start complaining about the logistics or the processes or things they want changed. And I'm like, it's never going to happen. But nothing happens without you proving yourself first. First, you do the work, then you hit the rank, then you get to start making demands, and not so much demands per se, but you get to start changing things. And listen, I brought in 20 people. I could have brought in 40 if we had it this way, right? This is how we don't call Sergey and say, we want these 25 things changed because we said so. There's always a reason backing it up. Like when we were signing up these specific people, this is the problem we had. Can we change this? When we helped this person move up in rank, this is the issue we faced. Can we change this, right? We have the problem, we have the story about how we got to the problem, and then the solution. So if you're not out there working it, you're never going to know what the real problems are because you're not experiencing them, which means you can't come up with a solution, which means the company's not going to listen. And that's why we always, first thing, we're like, we have to hit the highest rank in the entire company so people listen to us more than they listen to other people. Now, are there other people that we compete with? Friendly competition. Yes. Do we need to hit a higher rank than they do so we get our way more often than they do? Yes, we do. Do we need your guys' help to do that? Yes. So as a group, the more we do, the more we produce, the better we perform, the more say-so we get. And when it comes to push and shove, if there's 2 things on the table, right? And there's a team out where's the Russian team? Out in New York. There's a Russian team out in New York trying to get their say-so with a bunch of stuff. And Sergey said at this point, they've been not doing anything they said and doing everything we've asked for because the proof is in the pudding. right? So if we want to get our say so over anybody else, that's just how you do it. So that's the first reason why speed is massively important.
Yes. So the other thing is this, there is a way to complain, and I won't call it that. I'll just call it make a request. As long as you have the solution or proposed solution, then that's not complaining. It's like, this happened and here's what I think would work so this won't happen again. That's the best way of doing it. But just texting, calling, whatever, saying, I don't like this, fix this, or I'm done, or whatever, then I'm like, bye. That's not what, it's not helpful. I never call Sergey up or Felix and say, do this or else. I just say, hey, I think it would work better if we went this route, because this would make an impact and make things go faster, so we could sponsor more people so that you can make more money, we can make more money. This whole process, becomes clockwork and easy, instead of the process that it was before. So there's a way to do that. So moving on.
Well, I was going to say the second thing about speed. What was the second thing? Now I lost my train of thought.
Well, here, I'm just going to give you an example of what speed does.
It shows people you are who you are, or who you say you are.
Yeah. If you've been in 20 different companies, I have, just so you know, I have, so don't be embarrassed. It takes a long time. I don't think anybody's joined one company and got it right the first time, the very first company. So when you go to that's why I say, when you go to your friends and family, like, oh my gosh, I found the greatest thing ever, you're never going to guess. They're like, oh, well, what about those other 25 things you told me about? I thought those were the greatest things, right? Well, that's why you kind of want to, when you talk to those people, you want to have massive results so that they're focused on the massive results instead of the stuff that you never happened, and they're looking at you like you're crazy because you're just, the boy, Pinocchio, keep saying the same thing over and over and nothing really happened. And so speed plays a factor in that when you go out there and massively hit your list of people, and the people you don't know, the people that your friends, when they say no, hey, can you recommend somebody that I could talk to? All you have to do is ask. Literally, if you ask, it will be provided. You have to ask though, because there's tons of people that say no to me. And I say, you know what? This isn't for everybody, but I really need your help. Is there anybody that you would have in mind that you could recommend to me, that I could talk to, that you could do maybe just an intro? And sometimes you got to give a little. And if you do this for me, I'm going to do something for you, or I owe you one, or, I'll do a favor for you. What do you need how can I help you? Maybe I could give you a referral or something like that. So it's not, just give, or take. You got to give some to get some. And that happens in business all day long. People negotiate deals all the time where you're patting each other's backs so you both win. And that's the best case scenario. And people are going to want to tend to give you more people to talk to if you did something either nice back or a favor, or again, reciprocated that favor that they're doing you. But you want to do it quickly. Now, here's my proof of this. Dale Calvert, Tina and I, all the leaders are on this Zoom right now. What's the first thing they did? They hit their phone and they contacted all their people, even took days off to do it, and literally condensed 6 months worth of work into that much days of doing it. And they hit up everybody. And some people, I think, are afraid to exhaust their entire list, because then what happens if there's nobody left and everybody said no? That's a concern. That is a concern. Some people don't want to be successful because they don't know what they're going to do when they get everything they want and they think there's nothing left to get. Well, I promise you, all right, the minute you hit all your goals, there's going to be new ones, all right? You'll have new goals. You'll even have new breakdowns that come along with that. So you're never going to run out is what I'm saying. So don't be afraid, cross that divide of being worried about contacting everybody you know. And if they all said no, it's okay. All right. Most of those no's are going to be from friends and family, by the way, if came to them before with tons of different opportunities along the way. But listen, that's how we all get better. We tried something on, it didn't work, but we learned something, moved on to the next thing. You got on the wrong train to get to the right station. All right. So, fast forward to right now. If you're willing to overcome all those instances where you're mind screwing about, I don't know who I'm going to contact first or last, or should I contact anybody, or I don't know, the last time I did that, it didn't work so good. You've got to operate from here forward, not from the past, or you're just going to dictate your future, focusing on the past, and they're going to get the same results because that's what you're manifesting by that kind of thought process, instead of just recognize that, listen, people understand that everything doesn't work out the first time perfectly ever. You don't walk into your job and know how to do everything the first day. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes months, even years to perfect it. So people, we're all alike in that. I don't know anybody that perfectly knew everything the first day. I'm sure somebody will say, oh, but I did, so one person maybe on the planet was perfect from day one, but the rest of us, we're all unique and the same when it comes to that. So don't feel bad. We're all in the same boat. We're all constantly learning on how to get out there and better our conversations, better our language, get the speech down, the talk, the products, the comp plan, all that. The more you watch things like this and the webinars, and you get on as many trainings or events as possible, you're going to just pick it up. You'll pick it up. The more you get on, the more you pick up. And the old saying, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, applies to everybody, because you could screw it up royally and they're still going to do it. They're still going to do it. So, but you have to allow yourself and give yourself permission to be able to go out there without focusing on the past and realize that this whole team, whether it seems like that to you or not, we've all gone through that process. Tina and I didn't wake up and all of a sudden we were just masters at doing this. We probably screwed it up more than anybody on here, except for maybe a few people, and royally screwed it up. I could tell stories that you guys would be on the floor rolling, on some of the idiotic things I did to try and make this work. But I tried it anyway. I went for it anyway and quickly learned, wow, following a system is probably the best thing to do. And you're going to waste a lot of less time than reinventing the wheel. So, speed is important. You got to show those people that this works, right? So especially the ones close to you, because they're going to want to see, well, how much are you making, right? That's the first question. So don't go to them if you haven't made anything yet, right? Why don't you wait till you got a pot of money and then say, hey, I know what you're going to ask me first, and guess what? Here it is. Check this out. You might get their attention a lot more. What am I going
You
out?
just totally contradicted yourself.
What?
You said go after everybody, and then you said don't go after those people.
No, I said wait
So
until
clarify.
you get the results.
Okay.
All right. So let me clarify that. Wait until you get
we
results.
messed up too.
Until you go after the people that you're mostly concerned about, that you've already pitched 195 things to. Do those people last. But make sure when you do, you have the most amount of results ever, because then you'll get their attention, because they're already counting on you having 0 results based upon the last 195 things you showed them.
Okay, so let's go back to speed and
All right.
How important is speed? Let me ask you this. If somebody approached you about a business opportunity and it was in the financial arena, and you know that they were a bartender at the local bar, what are your chances that you're going to listen to them when they start talking to you about investing and making hundreds of thousands of dollars in Forex, for example? Unlikely, right? You have to walk the walk to be able to talk the talk. So when you talk about, how many of you have ever seen a post when somebody says, I'm looking for 5 people that I'm going to help you each make $10,000 in your first week? How many of you have seen a post like that? And how many of you go, that is the most ridiculous thing ever? Because you know it's not true, and you know that person isn't making $10,000 yet. So how could they possibly teach you how to make $10,000, right? That's why speed's important, because you want to make income weekly. We get paid weekly. It's okay if you don't want to tell people how much you've made yet. Here's what you have to say to them. I made money my first week, my second week, my third week, my fourth week. I'm going on my 5th week, and I get a paycheck every week. And it's more than I was making doing whatever else you've attempted to do. That's what you need to be able to say to people. But if you've been in this business for 4 months and you haven't received a paycheck yet, why are they going to listen? You have to do something first, right? And that doesn't mean you have to go after business people first. We have a lot of customers. The company has a lot of customers because these products are really amazing. Go after customers. Once you have 2 or 3 customers in the system and you get a paycheck, now you can go after somebody and say, I'm already making money. I've been in this for 8 days and I already got a paycheck. That's where the speed comes in. Okay, let's talk about ranks. It's in the same category. If you are marketing to somebody and you are at the same rank you were when you started 6 months earlier, and they say, well, is your team growing? Are you growing? Well, not really. If they know your rank then, and they know your rank in 6 months is the same, are they going to be likely excited to jump in with you knowing, here's what we tell people. When people ask us, when we shop for companies and we shop for uplines, if we're in that category, we're looking to do that. The first thing I ask is, are you going to match my efforts? Because I know how hard I'll work. Are you going to work as hard as I will work? And if you say no, or I know the answer is no, there's 0 chance I'm going to work with you. 0. Right? And we've had this happening since the day we started, from 6, 8 weeks now, from the day we started sponsoring people. You can't make somebody work with you. We all know that. People don't own people, and you can't make people work with certain people. Just a couple days ago, I had a gal, I prospected her, and she said, but I'd really like to work with this other gal. And I said, no problem. And I connected them. I can't make this gal want to work with me. I may not just be the type of person she is. Maybe I'm too loud, or might speak too fast, or I'm not patient enough. Like, there could be a million reasons why, but she found someone she wants to work with. And what am I going to say? No, you can't? Of course you can. You get the choice to work with who you want to work with, and it's going to happen more. And we tried to be very careful with other businesses on how we talked to all the influencers first, and then the shakers. We tried to keep everybody into a team dynamic that we are very comfortable with, and we've been using, that's really been working. But now it's been a couple of months, and things are going to happen, and there's people watching. If you don't know that people are watching you, they are watching you, and they're watching to see if you're going to grow. They're going to watch to see if you're going to market this in a fast way. They're going to want to see if you're the kind of person they want to work with. And as they're watching you do all these things, if somebody else captures their attention because they're moving faster, that's how life works. It's like same thing when you go in for a job interview. Sometimes you get the job, sometimes you don't, right? Kelly, give me your example about the sports. So that's really good.
I'm going to give you a personal story here. So growing up, I had a twin brother and 6 brothers and 4 sisters all together. So there's 11 of us. But in school, with my twin brother, there's automatic built-in competition. And, the schoolyard pick for sports or whatever that is, I was picked last every time. I had these big glasses on since I was in 2nd grade. I looked like a total geek, and I just wasn't really into sports that much either back then. And so I always got picked last, and it bummed me out, because I'm like, man, how come nobody ever picks me? What's wrong with me that I get picked last? That happened all the way up through high school, by the way. And then I learned something that just changed my game. And I've heard the phrase, in order for things to change, you got to change the way you look at them. And I tried that on, and it works. And I decided, you know what? I'm tired of being last. I'm tired of not going to any school dances. You know, I even played the flute and band. I was in chess club. I was pretty nerdy when I was in high school. And that was my freshman and sophomore year. Then I learned, like, wow, you know, what can I do to be first or to be noticed or to be picked? And I changed it up. I decided, well, I'm going to get outside my comfort zone. I'm going to learn a new instrument. I'm going to dress differently. I'm going to do things just to change things up, and we'll see what happens, right? I just tried on a whole different persona, and guess what? It worked. And it worked perfect. Every girl wanted to date me. And
okay,
right,
story over.
99%.
Next story.
All right. So, but being serious, you got to step your game up and stand out. You know, imagine being one of 11 kids growing up trying to get attention from your parents, right? You have to really stand out in order to get attention. And I learned that sometimes you got to get outside your comfort zone and put yourself out there so people will notice you and recognize you. And maybe your Facebook page isn't all negative stuff. You start trying on some positive things. And you focus on things that aren't about you, that are about, you know, other people, or things that people find interesting. There's all different kinds of things to do. I'm not saying you got to go get a haircut and you got to wear a cool tank top like me, or anything else like that. You know, you already know what you can do to get outside of your comfort zone so that you can be noticed. Now, how that applies to sponsorship, I think that we did a total service to the team when we said whisper campaign. All right, so because I'm going to tell you, this is the stuff that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. When you put your company name on your social media, somebody like me is going to look at that, and I'm going to size you up and go, oh, well, I'm going to go look up APL Go and find out who's at the very top, or find out somebody I could work with and see if I even know them and get sponsored by them. You're welcome. You don't want to put the company name, or people are going to go what I call sponsor shopping. And because they don't know you, perhaps, especially if they don't know you. It's not even your fault. It's not their fault. This happens in this business. I'm giving you the down low here is you've got to attract someone to you. And how you do that is you give them a little bit of information so that you could build that relationship, and that can happen very quickly, but you still got to do it. Otherwise, don't be mad. Just like I can't blame my twin brother that he got picked first in every sport ever growing up, and I got picked last. It wasn't his fault, and it wasn't even my fault. But I decided that I wanted to have something different, so I did something different. So you got to do something different. And the hard part is this: you got to figure out what that different is. And you got to be willing to get uncomfortable with the fact that some people just aren't going to like you. I mean, here's a news flash. Not everybody likes me or Tina. Well, I can't imagine nobody liking Tina, but there's people that don't like me, and I know it, and I'm okay with that. There's 7 billion people on the planet. So it's not like we're going to run out of people to talk to. You're just not going to please all the people all the time. You could just do your best and put yourself out there. But in terms of sponsorship, the best way that you can attract to somebody is be at the highest rank, have the most results, and do it quickly. People are going to think, wow, they know what they're doing, and it could be your first company. And you can still have it be like that.
And people are thinking, but I'm not at the top, so I can't work that way. Yes, you can, because we were not all at the top. We didn't start at the top, right? We started just like everybody else. And here's what I used to say when they said, if I was marketing to somebody and I was talking to somebody and prospecting, and I was pretty new, and they said to me, oh, I'm also friends with this person at the top of the company, I would say, oh, do you think she has time to work with you? Because you sound like the kind of person that wants a little bit of hand holding. You kind of want to link arms, do it together. And she's already got 3,000 people on her team. So who do you think's going to do more to help you at this point? Her, who's already made it, or me, who's going to work my ass off to make sure that you're taken care of and has more information than anyone else on the team? Any one of you could say that. Any one of you could say that. You know, I actually believe it or not, had a chat with a gal, Galina something, on Facebook, and she knows somebody in Russia. Oh, my friend in Russia is doing really great with this, been in it for years. And I said, well, she probably has a lot more experience than I do. But I will tell you this, because she's been in it so long, is she still sponsoring people? Is she still going to put people into your binary tree like I am? Is she doing webinars? Is she still doing the new things that you do when you're new in a business? Because if she's not doing those things, and with the time difference between here and Russia, maybe this team is a better fit for you. Maybe that's what I said. She's making more money than me. She's doing better than me. She's been in longer. She has more information. She's been like to 4 of the cruise event things. I haven't been to any yet, but that doesn't mean you can't give people what they want and what they're looking for, and prove that you are the option, a viable option for them to choose. Now, she hasn't chosen yet. She may choose me, or she may choose her friend in Russia. Either way, it's fine. I hope she chooses me, but that's how so don't think you have to be at the top, because everybody started new 7 weeks ago. We all had the same advantage. Not one single person has an advantage. We all started on the same even playing field, right? If you are talking to people and they want to do video marketing, well, then you need to start doing video marketing. Start doing some lives. Start doing some YouTubes. If you are talking to people and they want to do house parties, great. You do a house party first, and then you can teach them how you're doing a house party. We did a house party, was that 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. No one came.
0.
So don't
0
think it doesn't
people
happen to everybody. We had a house opportunity and not one single person showed up. 20 minutes in, we were like, all right, what are we going to watch on Netflix?
We were so grateful, actually, because we were not, anyway.
Not feeling it that day.
We were not feeling, but
it happens to everybody. That's the point. Don't do things because you think you'll fail. Failure just brings you one step closer to success. We failed at a opportunity party 5 weeks into this deal.
That's something you'll never hear leaders talk about. You only hear all the good, right? And you never hear, but listen, we try stuff out. Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, it doesn't mean it doesn't work, by the way, because we've had some successful parties here. We're just trying it out, just like everybody else. So when I got started in this business, I looked at the people who were making it in my eyes, and I kept saying, what do I got to do to be those people right there? And I kept saying
attract those people.
I kept saying that
until you are those people.
Until finally somebody gave me the time of day and said, listen, if you want to be those people, you better maybe try on doing your own webinars or conference calls. This is how long ago this was. There wasn't even webinars like this. I think there's join.me, but you know, it was a conference call. And I make fun of myself all the time because I'll never forget my very first conference call. I'm sitting there, I dialed the phone like you guys dial in on the Extreme Cafe, and I heard like 2 dings, ding, ding, and it's like 2 people on the other line. And I wish I could have videoed myself. I was sweating. I was like so nervous. I could barely say my name. And there's 2 people. And you know, I thought I just wanted to die at that point. And then all of a sudden I got through it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. Maybe I'll try that again. And so I did. Mind you, 2 people. And then I think it graduated up to maybe 20 people. And then I kept doing it. And then I kept doing it and kept doing it. And of course I got better at it. All right. So nobody steps into this that knows how to communicate this to people perfectly the first day. You just keep doing it. The more you do it, the better you get. That's the training. You want to get better at this? Go start practicing on people all day long, as many times as you can, and you're going to get better at this. I promise you, because you're going to want to be more effective and not waste your time with the wrong people, and you'll be able to identify the wrong people, that aren't motivated, that, have no desire to make their lives better or anybody else's life better for that matter. And you'll move on. You'll stop convincing and start realizing people, you will attract the people that want this just like you do. And it does get better, but you can't quit. So the theme from when I was in second grade all the way up to now is I just didn't quit. I was always trying to figure out how to better myself so people would accept me, and I would, or I could get a chance at stuff I wanted to be part of. And I realized that if I just didn't do anything, I could pretty much see the same results I was getting, but instead I just kept trying stuff. I kept trying, just about everything until finally I found something that worked. And it's that first win that you get, and you're like, oh my gosh, it seemed like climbing that hill was so hard and so tough, but here we are, we finally made it, I summited, boom, I could do that again. All right, you didn't die, you didn't fall over, but your whole world didn't cave in on you. You realize that you probably made it harder for yourself up here than it really was. And once you get through that, you just repeat that over and over and over. And you keep doing that same thing. So I promise you, once that happens, you're gonna be addicted to it, because it's fun helping people help themselves, right?
Let's talk about, I want to bring up a story, and then we're going to talk about timing, because timing is important. But you got to remember, the key to prospecting is listening. It's listening, not talking, not spewing what we have onto everybody else, listening for what people want, for what they like. So this morning we were at breakfast. I didn't mean to overdrop, but the tables are kind of close. And I just happened to hear them talking about this. There was a couple with their son, and the son looked like he was about, what, 22, 23, something, like maybe. And she was saying, and he was saying, but I just can't sleep. I'm having such trouble sleeping. I'm feeling anxiety. And she's like, well, maybe lorazepam might work. And I've been taking some lorazepam, and I don't like the way it makes me feel. I wake up groggy in the morning, except it does help me sleep, and I feel like I can function a little better. And I leaned over and I said, listen, I totally did not mean to like listen to your conversation. However, I did hear you say you're having sleep troubles, and just thought you might want a natural solution that's helping a lot of my friends sleep at night, including my husband. And I gave her the samples, and she took it, and she's all, well, what is it? And I said, well, it's natural. It comes from the DNA of plants, and it's negative ion technology. And the ingredients are right on the back of the thing. So, and she goes, and she went to hand it to her son, and she looked at me, and I said, I have another one. And then I gave her one, and they were like, oh, thank you. How do we get a hold of you? And like listening, not that I say go eavesdrop on everybody's conversation, but listening is, I couldn't prospect them. If I had walked up to them cold, I wouldn't have had a clue what to talk about, right? All you need is a sentence or a word that will trigger a reason for you to open up a conversation with them. That's all you need. So spend a lot of time listening. And if you spend a lot of time listening and putting yourself in situations to listen, even if it's on Facebook, I go into groups. I don't just look at the banner of We Love Supplements or whatever the name of the group is. I scroll through the messages, and I find people that say, I'm really looking for this. I'm really looking for that. I could use help here. I'm having trouble there. Listen to what people are saying and then offer a solution. So, and the timing. Why does timing matter? Because if somebody told you about this business 7 weeks ago, do you think you're more blessed today than somebody who told you about it yesterday? I'm seeing the heads. Yes. Yes. Timing is important. It's really important in this kind of business. And people are going to say to you, and it's one of the best tools I use in the first 3 months of any company, any launch. I have no problem saying to somebody, listen, I don't think this is for you. You may love the products. I know that you're not about the business. However, I didn't want you to call me in 6 months and say, I can't believe you didn't tell me about this. So I'm telling you about it now. What you do with the information is totally up to you.
I'm going to assume everybody's been to a concert before. Do you think you're going to have a lot more fun and enjoyable time when you're sitting right next to the stage? Or would you rather be all the way out in the grass seats at that same concert? Which one of those two positions do you want to be in? Do you want to be right next to right up front? You could see the sweat coming off the singers on stage, or do you want to be all the way in the back where you, unless you brought binoculars, forget about it. You might be able to hear some of it. And that's the difference here. You know, when you're right, we're the center of the ripple here. And so whatever's going to happen, which it is, it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And you don't want to start right here when you could have been right here. And that's, you can explain that to people and they're going to get it because they know being at the beginning of something, buying stock in Apple in 1992 when it was $2 a share. And don't quote me on that. I'm just making an example, but let's just say it's $2 a share back in 92. Well, what is it now today? It's like almost $2,000 a share. Would it be better at $2 a share or $2,000 a share? That's what happens when you wait, or because of timing, when you get in early, all right, it's way more valuable as time goes on because of how things appreciate, right? And this appreciates with people coming in and hearing about this, and haven't even touched, you know, the marketplace yet in the United States, where, I mean, nobody even knows about this. And it may appear, and this is where you got to watch your social media, because we're all in this world thinking, oh my gosh, all my friends are in this already. And, you know, let's say you have 2,500 friends, you know, because most of your friends are probably on your team, or you're friending people that are already part of this. You know, make new friends. All right, get a whole new audience that you could talk to, because the world on Facebook is not the real world. Because just walk out your door and go down to the store and say, hey, anybody in here ever hear about APL Go? And they're going to look at you like you're crazy, because nobody has. All right, nobody has. Now, in 5-10 years from now, if you say the same thing, yes, you might have some people go, oh yeah, I know what that is. Right? Because word's gotten out. But so the advantage is here right now. Take advantage of it. All right? Be willing to go talk to as many people as possible. It's your advantage right now. You have you really have that point in time where nobody's going to know about this. And especially with the whisper campaign that we're doing, and nobody's throwing up on, you know, Facebook about the company name, where everybody's going to know about it within 5 seconds, because that's how social media works, because it'll fire through the ranks quicker when people know the company name. But if they don't know where to look it up, they don't even know what it is, they have to talk to who? That's right, you. They got to go to you. And then you're the exclusive person when you don't put the name of the company, so people can't go research it. They have to go through you.
So let's talk about the holding tank. I know this training is going a little bit long, but here's why. Because the holding tank is what makes timing so important. Okay? Because people will do things they maybe were thinking longer about, or thinking about making a decision about. They'll do it because of what they're missing out on that lives in your holding tank. Does that make any sense at all? So the holding tank, here's the purpose. The purpose of the holding tank. When people join the business, it's funny because I see some of you signing people up and then immediately putting them in your team. And I'm like, wait, but you're not utilizing the power of leverage. And the power of leverage lives in your holding tank. When you enroll somebody and they sit in your holding tank, okay, then you can look at your list of how many people you're following up with. You should be following up with 10 to 15 people a day If you're talking to 10 to 15 people a day, sending 10 to 15 videos, creating more contacts to talk to, you should be doing at least that much follow-up. And I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific is the end of the pay period here in Arizona. So tomorrow, I will send a text or call every single person I'm prospecting. And right now I've got about 15 on that list. And I will say, so I have a holding tank and it has 2 people in it right now. Would you like to sign up today and take advantage of having these 2 people placed into your team right away? Or would you like to wait until after tomorrow at 1 o'clock and these 2 individuals are going to be above you in the tree? Okay, speed and placement and timing are very important, right? What if one of those people in my holding tank ends up being the next Sherry girl, top recruiter, the next Curry Russell, internet guru when it comes to creating team online, Dale, who's been in the business 40 years. What if the next person who's sitting in my holding tank right now is that person? And you chose to wait and be below them. Do you think that's going to affect your income over time? Yes. And will it affect it in a really humongous way? Probably. So you can, first of all, go back to all the people that maybe said no, maybe said they want to look around, maybe said they're not ready to make a decision yet, and say, here's what's happening on my team. When I talked to you about this, you would have been number like 45 in the team. Now, if you join, you'd be number 780, because that's about where we're at. But that's okay. There's going to be thousands more, and I have 2 in my holding tank right now. Would you like to be above them? Are you ready to get started? Sometimes people need that kind of motivation, especially if they don't really know the industry that well. They don't know the power of a 2-team system where you actually financially benefit from what the people above you and below you are doing, right? So use your holding tank. You have until tomorrow. Now, let me tell you what happens once one person says yes. Then I say the next person, hey, guess what? I've got 3 people in my holding tank. Am I still being honest to the person that I said had 2? Yes. But to the next person that starts now, I've got 3. And then I've got 4. And then I've got 5. And then you can put all those people on your team at the same time. And if the person at the bottom says, you promised to put people under me, guess what? I plan to. Because next week, the holding tank starts over. And I got a whole new group of people. And you do this week after week after week. But if you're not going by speed, then timing doesn't matter. Because you can only help the people in your organization if you are enrolling enough people to actually follow through with your word, which is, I will help you build one team. Does that make sense?
And if you're not using the current promotion, I mean, we're in such a great company that they throw out these promotions constantly, right? But you don't tell people that they throw them out constantly, because the truth is we don't know. We actually don't know what they're going to do or when they're going to do it. But I use that all day long. Listen, man, you got until midnight tonight before this promotion ends. I know you want to take advantage of either getting your status up or getting product for free or, getting 300. Did you guys know, if you don't know, if you spend $300
on an activity order,
you get 100% more. So you doubled your order. That's the promotion. $300 or more, you doubled your order.
So you get 600 in product. You spend 300 on an activity order and you get 600 in product.
And this is how mine and Tina's minds work. We're like, great, we're going to get $1,200 worth of product. And guess what we're going to do with that? We're going to run contests at our little shindigs we have here at the house, or we're going to give people boxes instead of 3 little strips because we got it for nothing. Right? So we're going to just go big, or we're going to give it as a giveaway for some of the charity, auctions and things like that. There's so many things that you can utilize, but you got to take action and you got to be willing to either spend a little money or go out there and talk to people that you're nervous to talk to. Last night, we were invited to a party Had no idea it was outdoors. And if you guys saw the picture on Facebook, I'm in like all suited up and it's outdoor party. And I promise you, when I got there, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 105. And I'm like, okay, we're going to be here for 2 minutes. And then we're out because I'm going to melt. And turns out I saw one other person didn't get the memo like I didn't. And, you know, had the whole jacket and suit on. Didn't know anybody except for 2 people at that party. Maybe 3. And come to find out, we had that in common. I used the fact that we both were sweating and losing about 10 pounds an hour because we're outside, we're at this party, we both didn't get the memo. I'm laughing and joking about it. We ended up building a relationship with this couple. And not only that, after the party, we went out for our own little party, went and ate dinner.
With this couple.
With this couple. Never met him before.
Turns out their 26-year-old son has 106,000 followers on Instagram. We were like,
1.6
oh, I'm sorry,
million.
1.6 million followers on Instagram. And we were like, well, how can we get a hold of him? We're always looking for people that are influencers to help us share this product. Well, what's the product? Well, Kelly gave him a drop to try. He goes, I know how you drug dealers work. You give the first one away for free. It was actually really funny.
I mean, the guy was from New York. He lives here. Anyway, we never met these couple ever. And we ended up going to dinner with them last night at a nice place and built this, like so many possibilities could come out of that. And all I did was be willing to sit there and physically be uncomfortable because it was hot. I mean, it was hot. But I stuck it out and I'm like, I forgot about all that because I was having such a fun time building another relationship with somebody. And who knows what that could turn into. But if you guys did that constantly and were a beacon to be open to build relationships with people, and the guy, by the way, is like a billionaire. I never guessed that. I didn't know, but, drove a pretty nice, fast car. You could hear it all the way down the street. Anyways, it's just a very successful person. And all we did was show up. That's it. Yeah. We just showed up. We didn't have any clue what was going to happen. But that's what we do. And we're telling you, we're giving you a secret here. That's what we do to go out and promote this company, this business. So we're not afraid to talk to anybody about it. Anybody. And the more you do that, you'll realize, oh, okay, this is going to work, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to run into somebody, like Tina was explaining earlier, that could be the biggest person in this company. And, if you were too shy or afraid to talk to them, that's going to make a huge impact down the road on your income potential from just backing away.
Well, and what's cool is that when I was chatting with her, she had said they live in part-time in Scottsdale and part-time in Sedona. And I said, oh, Sedona, you must know all about negative ions in Sedona. And she goes, I sure do. I was like, really?
Okay, yeah.
Kind of surprised. Okay, so I went that direction, right? Because you don't know. If she had said, no, it's a negative ion, I would have told her. But cool that she knew all about it, because it's kind of hippy-dippy there. But look, there's a question. Yes, the holding tank has to be emptied every week. You cannot hold on to it. You cannot. Every week, every pay period, last day of the pay period has to be. If you do not empty your holding tank, that volume does not go into your tree, because they don't know what side to put it on, right? Until you empty your holding tank. Now it's programmed that person will show up at the bottom of your lesser leg no matter what. And it's a little quirky. So sometimes it ends up on the bottom of the right of the lesser leg, and sometimes on the left of the bottom of the lesser leg. And we got to make sure they go at the bottom of your right or left only, not inside left or inside right. So just get rid of the holding tank.
Yeah,
you've got to
place people.
You have to place people at the end of every week. And the last thing was the promotions. Let's talk about the promotions. So the first one is the one we just talked about. If you place an activity order for 300 or more, you get an additional 300 in free product. Okay. I know it's called presentation some legal reason they have to keep that word in there. So just know when you see the page, it says, pick your presentation volume up to this much, 300. That's the page where you choose your free stuff. The second one is if you come in brand new or upgrade by tomorrow at, is it 5 Eastern? By tomorrow at 5 Eastern, if you come in or upgrade, either one in the status, right? So you can't press activity. This is for status. If you want to upgrade $200, $400, or $600 package, they give you 25% free product. So if you order a $600 package, you get an additional $200. If you come in on the $1,800 or the $3,000 package, you get 50%. So a $3,000 package has $1,500 worth of extra product. Okay, that's for if you're brand new coming in for the first time or upgrading in status. And if you're not getting the free product page after you place an order, it's because they're not placing the order in the right place. Here's the difference. When you ask for your username and your login, you put it in, right? You put it in, and then it takes you to another page that's green. And if they click shop, they are still going to shop and get their order. But unless you order from their personal back office, that's where this new page shows up, the free product page. So you can't just hit login and put in your username and password. You have to hit the orange button that says back office. Once you're in your back office, you click shop, online store, and then you do it. And that's the only way you're gonna get the free product. And company said, if we don't start training this, they're not gonna send out free product to anybody if they mess up, because we should be educating people on how to do this. So just so you know.
That means
if it's happened, send something to corporate, tell them the situation and see if you can get the free product. But here's what I'm doing. I'm walking people through it. I'm not just saying go to my website and do it. I'm walking them through it. Jump on a Zoom, do it with them, okay?
Yeah, you got to make sure if you're getting it starting at 600 that you either get the kit or the product that's 600 or more, but it's not 600 total, including the $25 affiliate fee and tax. That then you will not get the free or the presentation packages. You will not get them. It has to be a $600 kit or $600 worth of product. Then on top of that is tax. Then on top of that is the $25 one-time membership fee. Then you qualify. If you don't, you'll be considered a 400. And if you do it as 400, you'll be considered a 200, and they're not going to fix that. They literally said, we got to communicate to everybody that because they're giving us a big promotion here. So they want to really hammer it home that they're not going to go back and fix if you mess that up. So you got to communicate that to everybody. So hopefully before they press checkout, it's more than that, whatever status rank they want to be. It has to be 1,800 or 600 or 400 or 200, then plus $25 plus tax. And then you're going to get the promo, and it'll take you there. And if there's anything that, if you did that, just like I said, and it still didn't happen, then contact me
Corp.
and we'll get that figured out, or I'll tell you where to go for that. Customer support.
Last promo. The last promo is the first 5 people on the team that hit corporate director this month, the month of September, is $1,000 cash to the first 5 people that do it. So if you need an extra $1,000 this month, this is the month to take advantage of that. Let me pull up the screen share so they know what we're talking about. Corporate director right here is $12,500 in volume on your pay leg and 4 managing directors. Now, that includes people that were managing directors that came in as a diamond, because if you came in as a diamond, you get the rank of managing director, okay? But you will not stay as a managing director if you don't hit this rank right here of 5,000 volume in your lesser leg. You have the title forever, but you won't be paid as a managing director until you remain 5,000 volume on your lesser leg through all 4 weeks of the pay period. So those are all the promotions this month. We put them on the pages. We try to be really specific and clarify, but we know there's a lot of promotions. We told Sergey, stop with 10 promotions at the same time. Just give us one to focus on. But we're going to stop the recording and answer some questions.